Hello creation, I've just written this, it's just come through, it's called How to Reach a Soul. How to reach a soul. How to make an impact on a hardened, battle-weary type. How to reach those seemingly impregnable whom to others would always be seen as sour and never be seen as ripe. How to reach a soul. How to make a difference. How to make a difference in a life that's seen much suffering, where the soul has taken relentless beatings with little to no buffering. How to make a difference to a soul with broken dreams, in a world built upon illusion where nothing is as it seems. How to reach a soul. How to understand when a soul that couldn't take any more had to by demand. How to understand. How to know when what to say or even when to walk away. How to bring light to a soul that cannot even remember the light of day. How to reach a soul. By giving time for what they need. By having patience and understanding, we tend to the wounds that cannot be seen. By watering the soul with empathy and compassion, we see the thirsty brown grass return to green. By supporting them in their darkest hours, by nurturing and helping them to weed their garden and to plant their flowers. By being the one, when called for, who can provide that loving hug. And by being ever watchful as the guardian who makes sure the soul falls no further into the hole that has been dug. By seeing a soul as equal and not as a lesser than. By disassociation, so as to make non-biased decisions, we must hold the capability to understand. With time, patience, and an empathic ear, a soul can be reached regardless of fear. Regardless of soul, they should never be pushed, as a healing of soul can never be rushed. So how to reach a soul? Well, when push comes to shove, there is nothing more effective than the application of love. I'm sure that we've all needed a hug sometime in our lives, you know. I'm sure that there are many out there who will be in a hole, so to speak, what they can't seem to get out of. There are many who could do with that shoulder, that little bit of compassion, that empathy. There are those out there who would benefit greatly by just a little bit of attention, that kind ear, that smile, you know. The world can be a testing place, without a doubt, and the world can remove the smile from your face, without a doubt. And the world can push us beyond what we thought we could ever endure, without a doubt. And at the end of it, as always, what does it boil down to? What matters most of all love for our self, and I don't mean that in a selfish way, I mean it in a selfless way, because when you see yourself as all and see all as yourself, then you've cracked it, haven't you? You've cracked it. Then who are you to judge, regardless of actions? You know, we may not agree with actions, but at the end of it, it's love that matters, isn't it? And it's love that's going to see us through. There are some out there where, you know, people are of some are of the opinion that they don't have a soul with the actions that are being taken. You know, how can we make sense of it? Some of these actions, we can't, can we? We can't, when it's actions that we wouldn't do ourselves, you know. So all we can do is be the love, is be the empathy, and is be the compassion, is be the provider of the kind ear, is be the ones who give the smile and expect nothing in return, because we don't do it for return. We do it because it's who we are. We do it because it's who we are. We smile because we genuinely pleased to see someone, you know. We provide that hug because we genuinely are loving beings, and it matters. Love matters. Life. Someone mentioned about the word matters. I need to look into that, actually. You know, words are spells and all that sort of stuff. But we do. We're precious. All of us. All of us. We are precious. We really are. We are. So many see themselves, or so many have a very low self-worth. When you realise that you are the universe that's learning about itself, if you can see it from that perspective, and you see everything's got a purpose. Everyone's got a purpose. Even if everything's got a purpose, even if it's only to exist. Everything has a purpose. Everything. According to the Creator. Otherwise it wouldn't have been created. I think more than anything, this is, when you see the message in this, really, is don't be afraid to reach out. If you see someone who's struggling, they may not want your help. But if you just think, they don't want my help, I won't reach out, you will never know, will you? You might just be the one catalyst that turns their life around for the better. That's it for today. Take care.